Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Cooks by Carrie. If you're new here, I'm Carrie, and for today's video, I'm sharing how to make my favorite, the most delicious, chewy sugar cookies from addapinch.com. This is my go-to recipe, and it's probably my favorite thing ever to make. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. For today's recipe, you are going to need butter, sugar, an egg, all-purpose flour, baking powder, kosher salt, vanilla extract, and extra sugar so that you can roll your cookies in them. The first step for this recipe is to combine the butter and sugar and mix on a low speed until all combined. This takes about 3 minutes, but it can take a little bit longer. You want to mix it on a low speed at first because you really need to incorporate all of the butter with the sugar. So, let me tell you why this recipe is probably my favorite recipe of literally anything. Well, many years ago, I was looking online and I was trying to find a sugar cookie recipe that didn't require any refrigeration time because I'd often have friends over and we'd want to bake, but we wouldn't want to make something that we'd have to sit around and wait for 3 hours because that's a really long time. So I discovered this recipe on At a Pinch for a no roll, which means like you can't shape them; they have to all be circles. Um, but because they spread sugar cookies, but they only took about 30 minutes total time. I was like, this is perfect. This is great. I made them. They are fantastic. And I love this recipe because you can make it so unique. You can use different types of sugars on the top, like at the end when we roll the cookies in sugar, you can do it with sanding sugar, like jimmies or like bigger sprinkles. The non-perils, like the ball sprinkles, they don't work as well because the colors bleed, but you can do like other fun sprinkles. Like there's this really fun company, it's a little bit on the pricier side for sprinkles, but I love them, called Fancy Sprinkles, and they make like all sorts of assortments and blends, so that is really cool too. And you can really make them for any occasion, holidays like Halloween or Valentine's Day, or other winter holidays, stuff like that. And you can really, like, birthdays, you can make them as fun as you want. And I also love about cookies is you can vary them. You can make different size variations. Sorry, I don't know where I was going there, but like you can make little mini ones or giant ones, or like in today's video, we're just gonna make like a standard size. So that's why I love these cookies, because you can make them as unique as you want them to be. Alrighty, so now that the butter and sugar is all combined, it's time to add in the egg. So this recipe only requires one egg, so just pour it in and then fully incorporate it. Now, I did not scrape down the bowl before I did this step, but if you want to do that, you could go ahead, but it doesn't really matter. And then again, I'm going on maybe a medium speed here, just incorporating it and not really doing a lot of extra mixing. Just try and incorporate it fully and then kind of stop. You don't want to overmix. Now this is the second to last step. I'm adding in all my flour, salt, and baking powder. And there's no need to combine these together before you mix them into the wet mixture. Just go ahead, throw everything in the bowl, and then mix it up. You want to be careful here because, as you can see, my bowl is a little bit small for all the ingredients. I mean, it is probably the biggest bowl I own, but you just want to go on a slow setting, maybe 2 if you're using a mixer, or just go slow. Oh, also, I didn't mention this before, but I like to use my stand mixer and my hand mixer in most of my videos that I can, because I feel like it's easier for you guys to see what I'm doing. But you can totally also do this with a stand mixer, or if you're feeling like you got a lot of arm power that you want to use, you could use a whisk. But I think it's best if you use some kind of mixer. But if you really had to, you could just use a whisk in your like arm power. Also, it's good every once in a while to scrape down the bowl and just make sure that all the flour is getting incorporated, because no one wants to get a clump of flour in their delicious cookie. And lastly, you can beat in the vanilla. Now, in the recipe, it says to do the flour and the vanilla step with stirring in, but I've always just used a mixer. I just feel like it doesn't make that much of an impact for me with my experience, what I use, and it's just kind of easier. So I'm just going to blend the vanilla in completely. This step only takes like I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute, not very long. And then you're going to want to scrape down the bowl, the sides, the little whisks or whatever, and just make sure that everything is fully incorporated and it's all one beautiful dough. Now it's time to scoop out all of the dough. So I'm going to begin by using a cookie scooper. If you don't have a cookie scooper, you could use like a kitchen scale and weigh everything out by grams. Make sure they're unique, or what? I'm not unique. The opposite, all standard in size. You could use a tablespoon, or you could just do 2 spoons, or you could make them all different sizes. Completely up to you. So for me, this is about a tablespoon in measurement, and I'm just going in and placing it all over my tray. And now what you're going to notice is that I'm going to end up putting a lot of cookies on this tray. The total recipe made about, I want to say 28 cookies, maybe 29, I mean like close to 30, which is a lot. And so I am going to pack them all on this tray, but then I'll move them. And also, important thing to know, this doesn't so much matter when you're using just plain white sugar like I am today. But when you're using like a fun colored sprinkle, sanding sugar, or whatever, that's a specific color, you want to scoop all of your dough before and then go ahead and add on top roll them in the sugar, because if you kind of do it like as you go, what you'll notice is that some of the dough will actually get some sprinkles in it and it will just be a little bit messier. So you kind of want to do it in 2 steps. So first, like this, scoop out all the dough, and the second step, use the sugar all over. Alrighty, and now it's time for the fun step. Dunking all of the cookies in the sugar. So basically, you want to take them, roll them into balls, and then cover them in sugar. And you might be wondering, oh, I thought that with sugar cookies you do this after you bake. No, you have to do it before, because if you do it after you bake, then nothing will stick to the cookie. So yeah. Also, try not to spill too much sugar on top of the tray. You see that I do spill a little bit onto my tray, and I try and kind of remove it after, because it's not going to be that bad, but if you have a lot of sugar, it could burn, and then, that's not good. Also, important thing to note, these are just standard, sheets. Maybe only do about 12 cookies a sheet, 4 rows of 3, because if you do anything more than that, they just get too squished and then they'll stick together, and no one wants that. I mean, it's not a horrible thing, but if you want them to look all nice and pretty, you should just space them out evenly. And another one of the things that makes these cookies my favorite is that they're so easy. Like a beginner can make them, or someone like me who, I bake a lot, so I'm a little bit more advanced, can make them, and they're still like so fun. Like they're so fun to make with other people, with friends, and they impress like anybody. Like bring this to like, I don't know, like a work thing, a class party, anything like that, and everyone is always raving about them. They're just so delicious. And here's what they looked like after they'd all been rolled out. They looked so beautiful and so delicious. Alrighty guys, now before I continue with this video, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, comment down below what you'd like to see next, and share this video with a friend. Also, hit that notification bell so you get notified when I post a new video. I have a goal of 100 subscribers, and I'm about a third of the way there, so if you could please do that, that'd be greatly appreciated. Alrighty guys, let's continue with this video. And into the oven they go. I forgot to mention that you do want to have your oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can go ahead and stick 2 sheets in at the same time. They looked so cute, and I was really excited to see how they would turn out, because I love these cookies. And there you can see again, that's just an oven thermometer showing that is about 350. My oven is weird. I've mentioned that a lot, but just have your oven set to 350. And now it's time to take them out. If you're wondering why my oven is off, it is because I didn't want them to overbake, so I just turned it off. And they look really puffy, but when you let them sit on the tray for a few minutes, they actually depuff and start to get a little crinkly on the top. So even though you're like, these look raw, they're not raw. They're perfect. This is like what you want them to look like when they come out. A little golden brown, a little before golden brown on the bottom is perfect. And here is the final result. These beautiful cookies were so delicious, and look at that crack. You can see the crinkles form. Oh my god, this was such a good cookie. These will surely brighten up anyone's day. They're so delicious, and you can make them super fun. That's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram at Cooks by Carrie. I post lots of fun photos of the food I cook and behind the scenes stuff, other fun stuff. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment down below what you'd like to see next, share this video with a friend, and hit that notification bell. I will have a new video on Foodie Friday. Little hint, it will be a protein smoothie that I love to have for breakfast, so make sure to come back for that video. And that is all. Thank you again, and bye guys.